Yesterday, one of my channel viewers, Jachim from the Netherlands, sent me this file here, this PSD file, and what he's trying to do is do a colour change of the upholstery on this chair. If we go back into the bowels of my YouTube channel, right down at the bottom, 3 years ago, I actually posted these 3 videos here about how to do selective colour changes using the channel mixer operation inside of Photoshop together with a mask, and we explained about colours and the colour wheel and all sorts of awesomeness about how much control you can have over colour. Then 2 years ago I stuck this video up here as well, all about using the colour range selector tool to actually change or make a selective pinpoint change to the colour of an item inside a photograph. However, there is a little subtle difference between what I was doing in those 4 videos and the job that we've got to do, or that Jachim's got to do here. If we actually go and activate the channel mixer tool, which is what Jachim's trying to do here with this layer, now yes, we can actually physically change the colour of the chair to anything we could possibly care to imagine. However, the colours that we can create inside the channel mixer, bearing in mind that wherever we position these sliders, the total value has got to equal 100, otherwise the colour change won't take place correctly. There is no way of reconciling the colour that's being created here through the positioning of these red, green and blue channel sliders. There's no way of reconciling those to actual physical dictated colours that are industry standard, if you like. You have to remember that it's only us photographers who work in RGB values. It doesn't matter whether you're a graphic designer, a furniture designer, or even a car designer. When it actually comes to colour, colours are dictated normally throughout the industry by either pantone values or hexidecimal values. And it's basically down to us as photographers, if we ever get a job like this, to actually accurately convert those hexadecimal or pantone colours to colours that are in the RGB system, so we can actually make changes inside of Photoshop. And believe you me, actually converting a pantone or a hexadecimal colour into channel slider values for the channel mixer in Photoshop, yes, it's possible to do it, but you need a calculator and you've got to do about 4 different conversions. There is a really simple way of getting around Jachim's problem here. So we're going to turn off this channel mixer, and now we've got the chair back to its original colour, and we've got a sample square here. We can think of this as the hexadecimal colour of the dye that's been used to actually colour the material that this chair's been upholstered in. Now, if we actually separate out all the other layers from Jachim's project, and we disable this mask that Jachim's actually very carefully and very expertly produced, so we'll hold down the shift key, there's the actual image of the chair. But we can see the chair's been shot on a seamless white background, and it's got a little bit of a shadow underneath it here. Part of the job is obviously to put it against a white background and then mask the chair out against the flat white background, and then Jachim's created another rather expert mask here to allow the shadows to come back through below the chair. So where Jachim's problem's begun is with this channel mixer, because he needs to actually replicate or change this existing colour to these 4 different colour swatches, which I take it are representative of different coloured materials that this chair could be upholstered with. So instead of having to get the calculator out and do all sorts of crazy things, all we're going to do is use a very simple, straightforward colour replacement tool inside of Photoshop, but the image actually needs to have a tiny little bit of preparation done to it first. We're going to first of all create a stamp visible layer, so I'll do it the keyboard way, so it's Shift, Alt or Option, Command or Control E, and that's gone in the wrong place because it should be all the way up here. Stupid boy. The next thing I need to do is to actually mask out just the upholstery of the chair. Now Jachim's got this mask that he's created originally to isolate the chair from the background. Now I'm going to do my colour change operations on this layer here, this stamp visible layer that I've just created. So what we'll do is we'll just go and call this colour change so we know what we're doing. And the mask that Jachim's created, if we look at it again, it actually contains the legs of the chair and parts of the frame of the chair. Now there's a slight problem. If we actually blow the image up to 100% and then go and have a look at it, we have a slight problem in the fact that not all the frame of the chair is actually black. So if we put any colour change onto the chair from behind this mask, then the colour change will show up here on the actual frame itself, which we don't want it to do. So what I've done is I've created another mask. So I've taken Jachim's mask and basically all I've done is just chop the legs off and fill them with black. So now we've got just the upholstery selected. So I'm going to come back up to this stamp visible colour change layer, and we are going to Command or Control click on the upholstery mask that I've got here, this alpha channel in the channels panel, and we're just going to add it as a mask to this colour change layer. Really simple. So now anything we do to this layer will only be visible on the upholstery of the chair. So we're going to make sure we come over to the brush tool, and we're going to go for the third option down, this colour replacement tool. And this is so easy, it's ridiculous. So we've got Jachim's 4 different sample swatches of colour up here, and all we need to do is to go to our foreground colour, and I've got it set to a 31 by 31 average, and we'll just click inside this first colour swatch here and we'll click OK, and that's set our foreground colour to the same colour as this particular colour swatch. On this particular style of image, because we've got a dedicated mask to isolate the area that we want to change the colour in and remove any chance of affecting the rest of the image, we don't really need to be bothered with this tolerance. The tolerance value, I'll just leave it set at 35, which I think is its default. It usually defaults, yeah, it's either 25 or 35. We want to be in contiguous for the limits. We want to be in the mode of colour. We don't want hue, saturation or luminosity, we want colour. And we want to be continuously sampling as we move the brush along and allow it to sample the colour that's underneath it and change it to the colour that we've got selected here. So once we've got the actual tool set up, it really is just a simple matter of painting over all the upholstery in the chair, and there we go. We have successfully changed the colour of the upholstery in the chair, and we haven't affected the grey areas of the chair frame itself. Now obviously we could just go and turn these squares off, or these swatches off, and we could export that as a TIFF or a JPEG, and that would do the job that the client wants for that particular colour rendering of the chair. We'll go and turn the swatches back on. Might as well turn the basic one off. And all we need to do now is to come over to our foreground colour picker tool, and we'll go for this sort of drab olive green, and we'll click OK, and we can simply come and paint over the upholstery of the chair all over again. And there we go, it's changed again. And of course we could do the same procedure, turn the swatches off, save it out, and that's a separate rendition of the chair upholstered in a different material. So there we go, Jachim, I hope that solves your problem. And for everybody else who's watching this video, feel free, if you've got a problem with an image or you want to know how to do something to a particular image, just drop me an email, send me the image, and as long as you don't mind it being used maybe for a quick YouTube video, we'll get the job sorted for you. So there you go, hope that's been useful to you, Jachim, and to anybody else who might have stumbled across this video. If you've enjoyed it, give it a like, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and I shall see you very soon. Tooroo.